strategy. Bolo. So it answers three questions basically. Where to compete, that is the target market. How to compete, value proposition and differentiation. What value we are bringing onto the table. That's very important. So this is how to compete, value proposition and differentiation. Okay? Because value will decide what kind of brand equity you will be going to have for your brand, and value will also decide what kind of pricing you will be going to derive from the customers. For example, Apple. Because of the value proposition, high value propositions, they demand high prices for their brands. But if you talk about any other brand like others, Vivo, Oppo and others, they might be having a high value proposition, but customer is not ready to pay for that because customers don't think they are of that brand equity value propositions. So value proposition and differentiation is very, very important. How to base the third point. These are three important questions you answer in marketing strategy. How to build integrated marketing action. So all 4 P's in case of product has to be integrated to bring a better strategy for your product. If it is a service product, you are offering any service product, then it has to be 7 P. People, process and physical evidence will be the 3 additional P's which will be added to the existing 4 P's. But if you ask me what is marketing strategy definition in nutshell, then I will go for this simple definition, which is marketing strategy is the roadmap that aligns organizational resources. So marketing strategy is the roadmap. It is a direction. That's the reason we say strategy is direction. Right? So marketing strategy is the roadmap that aligns organizational resources. It's very important to look at your factors of organizations like man, money, machine, material, time. So what marketing strategy does is basically it is a roadmap which aligns organizational resources to meet customer needs, because that's what definition of marketing is all about, meeting needs of the customer profitably. That's what Professor Kotler said, meeting needs of the customer profitably is known as marketing. So customer needs better than your competitors. That's where the point of differentiation and value proposition comes into the picture. And that is the reason why we also talk about USP, unique selling proposition. What is your unique selling proposition as compared to your competitors when you offer your product and services? So that is basically answers when you talk about marketing strategy. It answers 3 questions. Where to compete, that is the target market. Target market selection is very, very important. As you already know, we have a lot of discussions on this in marketing paper and consumer behavior paper. Target market is very, very important because there are companies which have 2 types of marketing strategy: value for money, money for value. So value for money is basically more products with lesser price. Money for value is basically small number of, quantity of products is less, but the pricing is high. So when you talk about this, if you talk about examples of is basically money for value, high value. But if you talk about ghadi detergent, it is value for value. Okay. So where to compete, target market is very important because randomly you cannot operate in the market. It's very important to know exactly pinpointed what is the target market where you will be to offer. Here we had a discussion, if you remember, there are 2 kinds of strategy. One is red ocean strategy and another is blue ocean strategy. So what is red ocean strategy? The example is Pepsi and Coca-Cola. If you reduce 50 paisa, I will reduce 50 paisa. You reduce 1 rupee, I will reduce 1 rupee. You give advertisement at international level, I will do the same thing. Because both companies are having very, very good sound financial resources. And they are giant companies, or as you all know, multinational companies, US multinationals. So that is red ocean. So frontal attack, front to front. If you do something, I will do the same thing. But the other strategy is the blue ocean strategy, which is propounded by Professor Kim. And what he said that if you want to become a leader, it is not necessary always to fight with a giant company. You can go to an unattended market and can create your leadership position there. And you can create, if you are selling a product, through your product mix, price mix, promotion mix, place mix. But if you are selling a service, you can have the differentiation created with these 4 P additional people, process, physical evidence. Right? For example, if you walk into a particular hospital, you might have seen, very good doctors, the way they behave, very good nurses, very good paramedical staffs. If you go to the medicine counter, they're very good. Suppose you need a chair for support of your aging parent, they're very cooperative. They bring a chair, right? They have sympathetical discussions with patients. But if you go to the same case, if you go to another hospital, you'll see the complete contradicting scenario. They might not be very comfortable with interacting with people. Nowadays we are going for automations. Now, if you go to many hospitals, it is now online appointments in India. It is online booking of the slot and schedule with the doctor. It is online consultation. Even people are coming to your residence online through online booking to deliver the services. And on the top of that, there are online kiosks. So if you go to some of the hospitals, hotels, these are all online kiosks out there. So sometimes you might not be very comfortable as a customer to operate through a kiosk. So that time what happens, those guys will come and help you. Some of the organizations, the employees doesn't feel that is necessary. So they will stay there, customer will stay there, and then there is a confusion in kiosk at the kiosk. So this is called blue ocean strategy. So the first important thing in marketing strategy is where to compete. If you are having a product, if you are having a service, what is your target market? Very, very, very important. The second is how to compete. Now you have decided on the target market. Now you are considering about how to compete. That is value proposition and differentiation. Okay? What kind of differentiation you have? Are you a differentiator on product mix like Hindustan Unilever? Are you a differentiator on pricing like Rolex at the high end, ultra niche product? Or you are talking about 5-star hotels? Or you are talking about great brands like Gadi detergent, Nirma detergents, they still have beautiful value proposition at a very, very affordable price. India is a price sensitive market. That doesn't mean that we are poor people. We are price sensitive people. We will negotiate on price because we want the best price for our products and services. The next is differentiation. A point of differentiation is very important because in a crowded market, if you want to have your product and services sold at a larger scale, then you should have your differentiation. Right? Point of differentiation is very important. How you are different than your competitors. Why customers will come to you, why customers will not go to other people. So this is called point of differentiation. And third point in marketing strategy where you have to answer is how to win. You have a target market, you have got value proposition and differentiation. Now question comes, how to win. So what should be your winning strategy? And the winning strategy is basically integrating all the marketing action. And what is that? If you're selling a product, it should be integrating all 4P: product mix, price mix, promotion mix, and distribution mix. If you're selling service, as we have repeatedly said, that you have to integrate another 3P: people, process, and physical elements, so that you will have a point of differentiation in the market, right? So these are the 3 questions you'll be going to answer in marketing strategy. Clear? Any doubt? No. Fantastic. So then next, let us define marketing strategy in a very simple definition. Now what is marketing strategy? It is a roadmap. So you have to have a roadmap which will give you direction. And then why a roadmap is essential? Because it aligns organizational resources. It will put, integrate all the organizational resources so that to meet customer needs better than competitors. So this is meeting customer needs profitably. That's what the basic definition of marketing is all about. Meeting needs of the customers profitably, right? So this is a very crisp and brief introduction to marketing strategy course. As we are just starting the course today, so it is the introductory session. Then let's look at the key features. What are the key features? Customer centric and market driven. So whether you are a product company in India, abroad, or you are a service company, it has to be customer centric and market driven. So that is why it is said that what is the difference between selling and marketing? Selling is customer product oriented. Marketing is customer oriented. Selling is product focused. Marketing is customer focused, market focused. So in selling, what happens? We push the product without knowing the requirement of the customer. But in marketing, what happens? We go to the market, we see what customers demand. Yeah, exactly. So we see what customer exactly need, and then we convert their need into one, and then we position our product to them. So that is customer centric and market driven. Second point, which is a very interesting key feature for marketing strategy, long-term orientation. So when you are doing your direction, roadmap, by aligning your organization resources for meeting needs of the customer profitably as compared to your competitors. So what you do, you basically do long-term orientation so that everything will fall into place. All your 4P and 7P in case of product and service respectively. So when you talk about long term depends on the company you are operating with, the product you are operating with, and the place you are operating with. Normally we take 5 to 10 years is a long term affair. But if you are in the technology industry, it will be less, because technology is very fragile and the product life cycle of the technology is very less. So it depends. It might be 5 years, might be long term for you. But when you talk about a product and service, most traditional companies, if you look at FMCG and FMCD, 5 to 10 years is a long term strategy. Why? You must be thinking why there should be a long term orientation and long term strategy. Because long term strategy will always give you directions what you should be doing. But your strategy has to be flexible enough. So that is the reason we have kept another interesting feature. Your strategy has to be dynamic and it has to have a scope of adopting change, which is very essential in a dynamic business environment. Now all of you have seen recently in geopolitical situations what is happening. You talk about US, you talk about NATO, you talk about Russia-Ukraine war, you talk about US, Israel and Iran war, you talk about China's aggression. So all these geopolitical situation also puts pressure on the pricing and supply chain management of products and services. So that is the reason your marketing strategies, one of the main features should be to keep it open, flexible, so that any changes that happens on the periphery has to be adopted into your strategy. Right? It should not be too rigid. That this is a strategy, this is a roadmap, and we should be moving like this. Okay. The third one is focuses on value creation. Value creation is ultimate, because what value we create, that's what the price we get. So this is called value creation. Right? Next, integration of 4P in case of product and integration of 7P in case of service. So these are the key features. Now, if you look at the label of marketing strategy as it is the introductory first session to the marketing strategy course, we have prepared a table here for easy understanding. Label is basically there are 3 labels in strategy: corporate label, business label, and functional label. When you talk about this table, we have taken 3 variables into consideration. One is label, and second one is focus, and third one is key decision making. So when you talk about corporate label, we basically talk about the focus should be in the area of portfolio and growth. That is where we use BCG matrix and ANSOPS matrix and GE9cell matrix, which we'll be doing in the future course of action, because this is an introductory session of the course. So we will stick to the introductory part. We will try to make inroads into the course. Okay. So here we will talk about, in corporate level strategy, we talk about portfolio and growth strategy. If you talk about what is the key decision in corporate level strategy, it is market entry and diversification. So if you remember ANSOP strategy also, any company which is facing problem, the company has got 4 options. So what are the 4 options? Product differentiation or what? 4 things, let me draw. The space is limited, but still, the matrix is not required right now, but because of your benefit, let me do it. So if this axis you are taking market, this is old and this is new, this is product, this axis, this is old. Old means existing, that's the nomenclature normally we use, and this is new. So if the market is old, existing, and the product is existing, what is the market, the strategy? Market penetration. Okay, if you ask me in FMCG what we do, suppose you are selling in 5,000 counters, now you have to improve to 10,000 counters so that your product will penetrate to more and more counters and you will get more revenue. If your market is new and product is existing, so this is new market development. That's where the blue ocean strategy will come into the picture. In blue ocean strategy, what we do, normally people will go to a attended market or a crowded market always, because very few people will be in exception. What they do normally, they don't go into the crowded market, they don't go into the red ocean strategy of fighting the competitor head on. What they do is they go to an unattended market, come up with a product innovation or service innovation, and then they become a leader in that particular market. So till the time other players will come to know that this market is an attractive market, till that time they have become the leader of that market and they become the pioneer. Next, if you look at the market, suppose this is existing, product is new, this is basically a strategy called new product development. All of you know that. And then this case, the market is new and the product is new. So this is the strategy you will be going to adapt is diversification. So that's the model we are referring when we talk about market entry and diversification. We will come to this in detail in due course. Huh? Okay. Any question? Any doubt? No. Fine. Huh? Sure. Okay. So next is business level. In business level, what happens? We basically talk about competitive advantage. Okay? How we are different than our competitors. What is the advantage we are having over our competitors? So, and if you look at the decision making, we talk about cost leadership and differentiation. So if you remember, cost leadership comes in Michael Porter's generic competitive strategy. You remember, if you want to become leader in the market, you have got three options as per Michael Porter in generic competitive advantage. What he says, you can have product differentiation, cost leadership and focus. So we will have discussion on the Michael Porter's strategy when we go to the managing competitions, because we will also bring 5 forces model into the action. What are the 5 forces? If you remember, we completed in marketing management class. The first strategy is rivalry between existing firms, bargaining power of the buyers, bargaining power of the suppliers, and then threat of new entrants and threat of substitute products. So we will bring both the models into the scene as we proceed into the next level of this course. Then last one is the functional or operational strategy. In functional and operational strategy, what happens? We basically focus on execution. So here it is mostly planning, and towards as you come down, so we basically talk about execution, because planning every company does, everybody does, but execution is key. And that's where your value proposition will come to the picture, because many companies have got great plans, but they are not able to execute, and if they at all execute also, they take long time to execute it. So what happens? Till the time you go to the market, somebody else has captured that idea and started executing it. So you reach, by the time you reach in the market, you become obsolete, because that idea has already been taken to a different level by your competitors. So it's very important. You should not have only idea. Execution is key, but speed is also key. Okay. So this is execution, and what we do here, as we have discussed prior to this point, we have to integrate 4P and 7P in case of product and service respectively. So that's what brief note on the introductory remarks to the marketing strategy course. We have just filled up, so we'll go to the next session and we will see how different companies adopt marketing strategy, and we'll make inroads into the course. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.